Even when you're selling your shares of a owner-managed business, HMRC can still consider an element of your proceeds to be subject to income tax. Obviously, when most people sell their shares, they're thinking they're going to pay capital gains tax at either 10 or 20%. However, if your proceeds are structured in such a way that some of the value you receive is actually because of your employment and not because you are selling your shares, HMRC will consider that to be employment income. When might this apply? Generally, if you are receiving proceeds equivalent to the value of your shares, you should be okay and it should all be capital gains. However, if you receive an earnout that's linked to your employment in some way, for instance, you receive an earnout and it's conditional on you staying there for 12 months or conditional on you achieving a certain target, HMRC could well consider some of what you receive to be employment income, especially if the value that you receive is more than what would otherwise have been received if it wasn't for the fact that you are continuing to be employed. HMRC do have a manual on this topic where they list a number of indicators that might consider you to be subject to employment income. Obviously, they're only indicators. I'm working on a case at the moment where even though it is tied to employment income, it actually seems that the value they're receiving is definitely not more than other sales that have happened in the same industry. So we think it's a fairly reasonable argument to say everything they're receiving, even though there is some employment related targets, is still subject to capital gains only. But use that manual, go through those indicators, and you can consider the risk of whether HMRC might treat some of the earnout that the employee is receiving as income instead of capital.